Nation Live is Sanders Tisdale.
James Owen.
Guys, a lot to talk about. Steelers got a huge win up in the house in Pittsburgh. We did it with those Dirty Birds, put them to rest. 18-16 win for the Pittsburgh Steelers. A lot of other stuff to talk about as well. James, also, I want to let everybody know about the Steelers got a huge game coming up this Thursday. It's going to be a game that, you know what, guys, you don't want to sleep on, because I'm pretty sure we're going to sleep on it anyway. We'll talk about all that stuff next up on Steeler Nation Live.
Welcome back to Steeler Nation Live. I'm James Owen.
Sanders Tisdale.
Boy, it took a lot to beat those Ravens. And we talked about this last week on the show. How are we going to, the keys to victory, basically, what the Pittsburgh Steelers needed to do if they were going to beat the Baltimore Ravens, even at home, on the road. So now the Pittsburgh Steelers in the last 9 games are 8-1 against the Ravens, the kryptonite. And what I love most about this, every time the Pittsburgh, not just because they win, it's because everybody who said at the beginning of the season that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be nothing this year, the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be last place of the division.
Oh, yeah.
And there's no way that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to compete in the NFL. And look at us now.
Yep.
And it's just, you know what? Everybody's put us out at the beginning. They didn't even give Russell Wilson a chance. Didn't give Justin Fields a chance. Didn't give Mike Tomlin a chance. Everybody was, well, you know, this is his last season. He's got his first losing season as the head coach. He's going to be fired and he needs to go. And it was just horrible. All this talk, at least give him a chance. You know what I mean? Preseason is preseason. We've traditionally been undefeated in preseason, right, Sanders?
Correct.
And we usually had a crappy season afterward. This preseason, we did pretty crappy. And so far, we're doing pretty damn good. Top of the division. And the team that is supposed to be in top division is not. And that's the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens, great team. I'm telling you, great coach all around everywhere. Quarterback, running back, Derrick Henry, wide receivers, Deontay Johnson. We'll talk about that later in the show. So they're a real stingy defense.
Yeah.
Not as good as the Pittsburgh Steelers, but they're up there. So to beat the Ravens, we said what? Number 1, we have to control the clock.
Correct.
Which we did. Number 2, we had to contain Lamar Jackson in the pocket so he's not running all over the field. We did. Number 3, we had to stop Derrick Henry. Now, a lot of teams have had problems with Derrick Henry. The Pittsburgh Steelers traditionally really never had a problem with Derrick Henry. So even when he played for the Titans, I mean, he was just a big, huge back, tough to get down, but the Pittsburgh Steelers defense always had a defensive scheme to contain him, to stop him. So I really wasn't worried about him per se. So he came in there and really didn't have that much. His first carry was a fumble.
Yep.
So he carried the ball over 300 times before he fumbled. That was the last fumble, 300 carries. Not bad. I mean, when you're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, that's another thing I forgot to mention about keys to victory. The Pittsburgh's defense has got to come up big and huge with turnovers. And you know as well as I do, Sanders, and the folks at home, that the games that the Pittsburgh Steelers don't create turnovers, they have a tendency to lose games. The 2 games we lost against the Cowboys, we'll talk about them later in the show, and the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, we just gave those games away. Yeah. And how do we give them away? We gave the ball. We turned the ball over more than we got it.
Yep.
So with that being said, also, here's a big thing that a lot of people are not talking about. And I'm a huge proponent of this, Sanders, and you could agree with me 100% that the special teams of the Pittsburgh Steelers are undeniably probably the best special teams in the NFL today. And why do I say that? We have a punter who averages almost 58 yards a punt. He had a 71-yard punt against the Ravens. And we have the Wizard of Boz. The Wizard of Boz, they had him gone too. I mean, the beginning of the year, they had him washed up. Last year was a pretty good, decent season for Chris Boswell. Didn't do that great, but he was reliable at times. So at the beginning of this year, they had him washed up as well. They had people, they had the Steelers organization say, hey, look for a new kicker because I don't think Boz is going to make it this year. He's the He's the highest percentage kicker in the NFL. He's kicked 23 field goals out of 24. And we're not talking about, just extra point field goals. We're talking about half or more than half of his field goals he made were beyond 50 yards.
Yeah.
Now, we're talking about Justin Tucker, who's coming out in the media, and I don't understand this. I had a lot of respect for him, Sanders. A lot of respect for him. This guy was the prolific kicker. This guy was lights out no matter what. If you're 60, 65 yards in a rainstorm, tornado, hurricane, you name it, this guy is going to make the field goal.
Yeah.
He misses 2 field goals. So now he comes out, and now he's saying the reason why, because the turf was bad, the Steelers grounds crew didn't take care of the field and all that. But he forgot to mention that his team basically lost to a field goal kicker who made 6 field goals. Half of those field goals were beyond 50, 51, 55, 57 yards. Same turf.
Yep.
Same atmosphere, same air quality, same weather, same stadium, same turf, whatever. So you got to come up with excuses, right? But coming from a guy like him, that's embarrassing to come out and say that. You missed a field goal. All right, your time is getting near the end. You're not Mr. Automatic anymore. You got to live with it, right?
Yeah. Well, not just that. He missed field goals that were close up. I mean, and this guy used to bang them from 60. 65 with ease. Now all of a sudden you're missing close up field goals. And I understand it. We all don't want to think Father Time is gonna hit us, you know what I mean? But it happens, you know what I mean? Look, I got gray, he's got gray. It happens, everybody, you get gray, you know what I mean? It handed it out like candy.
I colored my hair gray. It's a color.
Anyway.
But
I'm telling you, if Father Time hits you, and when it hits you hard. So, guys, like we said, the Steelers went out there. They kicked 6 field goals, won this game. Should have been 7. There was a late interception, that Russell Wilson threw. But you know what? Saying that, Russell, to me, still played a good game. Still played within himself. Struggled at times in the game because the Ravens were playing. They were playing. Let's call it what it is. They were playing a good defense. They were trying to shut down all the deep lanes and basically saying, you know what? If you're going to beat us, you're going to have to beat us with the short stuff. And he did take advantage of that by hitting running backs out of the backfield. And also, James, by using our huge tight end. What did we say? To be successful in any NFL game, you have to use your tight ends. Any team out there, much as I hated Tom Brady, any team that was successful, he had a huge tight end, hit him on a regular, guys had titles. You know what? You keep going down the list. Any team out there that advances, use the heck out of their tight ends. I hate to say it, even the Buffalo Bills, I'm not a big fan of them either, but the Buffalo Bills use their tight ends from time to time, Knox and the rest of the crew. I mean, that's what the Steelers are starting to become aware to, and they got the perfect quarterback to sit there and hit that inside game, and they're doing that. And right now, James, to say that the Steelers are starting to use both quarterbacks in this, it's a huge plus. What do you think about that with the Steelers bringing in Fields to help solidify some of the short yardage gains for the Pittsburgh Steelers? And not just that, it keeps him active, keeps his mind moving, and also introduces a definite problem for defenses.
Yeah, I was always against, rotating quarterbacks in and out, because what you're doing is you're showing the defense your hand. You're basically telling the defense, okay, we're going to run the ball. But the difference is that Justin Fields can throw the ball too. So it's really not that direct if you bring Fields in that he's going to run the ball. Excuse me. So, but also it gives Russell Wilson a chance to relax, a chance to gather his thoughts and chance to, recuperate or whatever and get some plays in there. So I think that's not a bad idea to do it, not as often, not a lot, but just get him in there, get him warm, keep him warm, and keep him effective. So I'm not opposed to it. I think it may perhaps slow the game down a little bit, but I think if you got a guy like Justin Fields to come in there, I think that's a pretty good, another option.
Oh, yeah.
Something else that the defenses now have to worry about when they see Justin Fields coming into the game and Russell Wilson leaving.
Oh yeah, it's a huge added to the game, and like we said, we are hey guys, there's guys right on the board on different outlets, but I'm gonna read some of the local ones. Let me see. Steve Shannon, what's up, brother? He says, this squad right here for the Pittsburgh Steelers is starting to remind him of the '05 squad that went to the Super Bowl, where they would basically play that tight defense and shut down teams, and that's what they're starting to look like. I agree with you fully. Also, I want to give a shout out to my boy Daniel Zaro. What's up, brother? Hey, thanks again for stopping by Steeler Nation Live. And you know what? You look at the score. You look at the score in this game, 18-16. Nobody would ever thought that the Pittsburgh Steelers would actually pull it off, winning a game against a high-powered offense, a guy who's leading the league in rushing, and a guy. What was the total that he had? Let's talk about that. The total that the Ravens running back had for
65 yards.
65 yards rushing.
Only 13 carries, which leads me to believe that you sign this guy, this prolific running back, powerful. If he gets past the line, good luck trying to get him down. Linebackers, huge, gotcha. If he gets past the linebackers, good luck trying to get this guy down. And what makes him so amazing is that when he comes up with these yards, he does these carries 40 yards, 60 yards a carry. And that's what he did against Pittsburgh Steelers. He had 65 yards rushing, but he had one carry for 31 yards. You take that away, the Steelers defense held him to pretty much nothing. But then again, he wasn't getting the ball. So why would you go into a situation like that, even though you know how prolific the Pittsburgh Steelers front defensive line is? We're hurt. We're kind of hurt right now, and we're rotating players in and out. And, Hayward's getting up there in age, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you would want, as an offense coordinator, pound the line. And they didn't do that. And it wasn't like Lamar Jackson was throwing the ball 50, 60 times. He only threw the ball for 33 times. So he only completed 16 of those passes. So you tell me, what was going on with the mindset of the Baltimore Ravens?
We always know that the Baltimore Ravens notoriously always had a problem with dealing with the Pittsburgh Steelers for some reason. And, it's within your division. But now you got a ramped up Pittsburgh Steelers who are deep in depth and the players that they have out there. And not just that. Think about it. We just had one of our top outside rushers out on injury. Highsmith's been out on injury, high ankle sprain. Now you also replace him with a guy who comes in who's got a motor that won't stop. You know what? And this young rookie comes in, causes havoc. As a matter of fact, we got young rookies playing all over in the defensive part of the field for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they're causing havoc. And if you look at these guys,
Peyton Wilson, right there from Wisconsin, a great pickup.
This is what the Pittsburgh Steelers always were looking for on defense. Tomlin always preached that next man up, next man stepping in, and that's what's happening in Pittsburgh. And that's why when you get a moving piece down in the late parts of the season, when your team is injured, you got injuries coming on, everybody has it, every team. Pittsburgh Steelers got guys that might be starting on other squads if they weren't with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they're wrecking havoc. And that's what's going on with that defense. And that defense is strong. Right now, I'm not sure what they're ranked, but we got to be up there as one of the top 5 starting defenses out there, James.
Oh, easy. Don't forget about Nick Herbig, who's been hurt. Another big outside linebacker, fast, football IQ, amazing guy, can tackle. He's a ball hawk. And so it's kind of not a good thing that Highsmith is out hurt, but give him some time to recoup, knowing that we have not only one, but two guys to rotate in there. And Preston Smith from Green Bay, he had a hell of a game against the Baltimore Ravens, coming from Green Bay at the trade deadline. That was a great pickup for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he also could help the inside, shore up the defensive line as well. So getting back to what I was talking about, the Baltimore Ravens, I have no idea what their mindset was coming into the game with that offensive game plan, which was non-existent. And coming in, we thought there was going to be a high scoring game, because defenses, just they don't give up. But if you know your opponent so well, their weaknesses, you try to take that over, and that's what didn't happen here. It was more of like a I was going to say almost like the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight where they just dance around for a little bit, but there was some punches thrown. So getting into there in the Pittsburgh Steelers as well, I think their offensive scheme was held back a lot. Russell Wilson only threw the ball downfield a couple of times. I think that his average pass was like 5.4 yards. So that's not really good if you're trying to expand the game and open up the flow. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers were just content to keeping it close and hoping you win off the foot of the Wizard of Oz. So getting in there, like we said, and not to mention getting back to the stats, that the Pittsburgh Steelers held the ball for 36 minutes, almost 38 minutes. And, that's probably another reason why that, Derrick Henry didn't get enough carries or Lamar Jackson didn't get his opportunities to throw the ball downfield and utilize his wide receivers and tight ends. It could mean a lot, but in field position with our punter.
Right.
So, I mean, that's the special teams that a lot of people like. I talk about them all the time because nobody else will. All right. We don't want to wait till the end of the season. Oh man, you had a great field goal kicking or punter, because field position is everything. And once again, I don't want to, forget about this. The punt return from Austin the third, Calvin Austin the third. That hasn't seen a punt return since Deontay Johnson did it like 5 years ago. So the special teams is huge with Danny Smith finally coming around, getting the special teams together and, charging on all cylinders. That's amazing. But like I said, I don't want to take anything away from the Baltimore Ravens, going to the game against us. But I think our offensive scheme was just a little bit plain. And that worries me going into this Thursday night game against Cleveland. We'll talk about that later in the show because the weather's supposed to be rainy. It's supposed to be cold, maybe some snow Thursday. But like I said, we'll talk about that later in the show. But statistically, we didn't do that great of a job either. The big thing is they turned the ball over 3 times. We put the ball, we didn't put it on the ground, but Russell Wilson, that horrible interception in the end zone where we could add at least a touchdown or at least another field goal to put us up to 21. But with that being said, I mean, Russell Wilson, 23 for 36, 1 interception, not that bad. Harris, 63 yards on the ground, 18 carries, no touchdown. I mean, he just had 3 games in a row over 100 yards, and Pickens, 89 yards on 8 catches. So, I mean, really nothing to write home to mom about. Ravens had 4 sacks. Russell Wilson hit the dirt 4 times, and Lamar Jackson was sacked twice by our defense. I mean, he gets the ball out fast, and it's amazing we even got to him. And I tell you, it was just like a close fought game.
Yeah, it was.
And a lot of people are saying you can't win football games on field goals. Well, you kind of can, but we proved you can. But getting back to, let's talk about, since Cincinnati Joe out there, if you're listening, call in or message us if you haven't already. But Joe Burrow threw 9 touchdowns. Joe Burrow threw 9 touchdowns against the Ravens, 2 games that they played this year. And how'd that work out for them? They lost both games.
Yeah.
We scored no touchdowns and we beat them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, touchdowns, you want to score touchdowns. That's the name of the game. But if everything else is working, you really don't have to rely too much about that. But we don't want to get too comfortable.
Right.
We don't want to fall back into that the defenses will save us mentality, because that's how we lose games. That's how we fell apart last season. It's just that when you rely too heavily on the defense to save your ass, look what happened last year. So we can't do that this year. The defense has to rely on the offense more than we have to rely on the defense. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, and it's true. Actually, I want to also give a shout out to Steven Shannon. He says we have the number 2 tackling team in the league, second to the Chiefs. And what else did he write? He says 63 yards against the Ravens is like 200 yards against different teams. And that's true. Like I said, 63 yards. It was tough yards that this guy fought for. There were a lot of guys out there, and we talked offline. There were a lot of people out there who, it bothers me sometimes because they talk pretty bad about about Najee Harris. But Najee Harris is a capable back. Najee Harris, he does the dirty work for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Me myself, I love Najee. I think he's a great added for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not only the fact that he adds the fact of being a top back for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but a back that actually is a leader in the locker room for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and not just a leader in the locker room for the Pittsburgh Steelers. This guy has always, I would listen to different broadcasts, And whenever they were saying, like, what's the mood in the locker room? What's this? What's that? Najee would always be one of the men up front speaking, talking, putting it out there on the line, saying, you know what? We're a team that we're going to move forward. We're going to do this. He never degrades his line. You know, like other people out there, like what's his name for the Jets? A-Rod,
Aaron Rodgers.
You know, if you want to be a cohesive unit, you know what? Build your partners up around you. And that's exactly what this guy does. So even the Steelers, they know themselves that he's a great add to their team. It's great. He's a physical back. And you know what? You got a young line, and majority of our line are made up of younger players. So of course you're going to have problems with your blocking. Of course you got guys that's learning, but you got guys that can be built into a nice line for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And you know what? I feel bad for Najee because he had to be at the front part of that building of that line. So of course he's going to go through those rough patches, and you've seen it yourself. The guy's running, he's getting hit in the backfield as soon as he gets the ball. Or if not just that, there's no holes. I mean, so what can you do? I don't know what people want him to do, and you look at Warren, and Warren can be a good back, but at times Warren will cough that ball up at times. Let's get it straight. And I like Warren, but Warren will cough that ball up from time to time. James, what is your thought on the fact that with the two backs for the Pittsburgh Steelers, you got Najee, you got Warren, they're both capable backs. I mean, what is your thought? From your mindset of watching them two play?
Right. I love it. I love the 1-2, different styles of running, obviously. But what I think to enhance their running capabilities even more is to use them on outlets and swing passes to open up the linebackers, open up the defense, spread it out a little bit. Once you get the formation in the back and you're just handing it off, they're going to crowd the box. They're going to bring the linebackers in. They're going to bring the corners in, so that way you can't bounce outside. So I think if you get in those formations where you typically would hand it off to the tackle side or the guard side, that spread them out and swing pass to them to spread it out, get them going. And just one stat really quick about the New York Jets, because I know we have some fans out there and Aaron Rodgers fans. So really quick, Zach Wilson, Sam Darnold, or Aaron Rodgers, who has the best, who has the worst winning percentage? Sanders, really quick.
Say it again now. You said
Zach Wilson,
okay,
Sam Darnold, or Aaron Rodgers. Who has the best, who has the worst? Who would you think?
Well, we talked the line, so I know it's Zach Wilson.
Right. So folks at home, Zach Wilson, the guy they got rid of, the guy they ousted, well, 300.364 for the winning percentage. That's not good, but it was Zach Wilson, Sam Darnold, and Aaron Rodgers last at 273, who got the coach fired, who got everybody else fired, who but I just want to throw it out there. That's, side note.
Got everybody fired.
Yeah. So all you Jets fans out there, Jets, Jets, we want to hear from you. Hey, folks, we want to hear from you too. Call 585-210-3917. It's 585-210-3917. Give us a call. Numbers up on the board. If you can't hear my mumbling, give us a shout, give us a message. Let us know what you're feeling, what you're going on, what you're hearing. And what's going on with the Dallas Cowboys? I mean, it's not even funny anymore. Anybody watched the game last night? Raise their hand. I watched like half of it. Let's hear your thoughts out there. It's just we're not Cowboy fans. We joke. We can't even do that anymore. I mean, it's just Jake Paul has more wins in that stadium than the Cowboys do this year.
That's true. That's
pretty,
a true statement, though.
That's pretty sad.
Yeah.
And it's just
the Cowboys got a lot of problems out there, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna get some Cowboy fans calling in, but they got a lot of problems out there, and I think it doesn't just stem with the players on the field. I think it stems from upstairs with management. Jerry Jones is he needs to go. He's the modern day Al Davis. He needs to leave that squad and just go on and just step aside, let your kids handle it or let somebody else handle it. And it's always been a problem where you have this person looking over your shoulder, and he's a very critical looking over your shoulder. And the problem is that it's a problem. It's a problem for their management. They had Jimmy Johnson. Like I said before, Jimmy Johnson was a good coach for the Dallas Cowboys, built something that could have been special for them, even getting them another Super Bowl title. And they probably could have had a couple more, to be honest, with the way he built that line. But he couldn't. It wasn't a cohesive unit with him dealing with the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, and he's still doing the same thing. I mean, guys will stay there for a little bit, then they get ran out of town. And I'm pretty sure at the end of this season, McCarthy will be gone as well. And
I don't even know why he's still coaching today.
I have no idea.
He should have been gone last Monday.
Yeah. Well, Aaron Rodgers tried to. They didn't get along either there in Green Bay. So they got a title out of it. But the thing about it is that Aaron Rodgers did not like McCarthy. Right. So and how's he still coaching right now? I have no idea. But
I don't know. But listen, remember the beginning of the year, we had a discussion about the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember distinctly. Folks, go back and watch the show. Look us up, www.steelnationlive.net. Check out our website. Check out all our past shows if you missed them. If you want to, our favorite one's the Christmas one from 15 years ago. I mean, legit. I mean, we started from scratch and look at us right now. So I remember distinctly talking about the Dallas Cowboys. I think it was our first show of the year. They better win the damn Super Bowl this year with all the money that they put in to Dak, CeeDee Lamb, and they're going to shovel in to Micah Parsons, who may not even want to play with the Cowboys next year.
Yeah.
So I remember exactly. I said, if they don't win the Super Bowl this year, forget about it. Forget about it. Another Super Bowl for next 20 years, because with all these contracts, they can't afford anybody. I mean, there are other players on that team at the end of the season who's going to come up. It's pay time.
Right.
It's payday. And you can't trade for players because you have to eat some of their contracts. There's a lot of money involved. And right now it's looking very, very bleak for the Dallas Cowboys because, number one, who's going to want to go play with them? America's team. Woohoo. Yeah, but you're almost you're one game above the New York Giants. One game above the New York Giants. You lose another game, they win, you're tied for last place. But you guys, it's over. I mean, barring some miracle for the Dallas Cowboys, and Dak is gone for the rest of the year. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because he was average at best. I mean, we talked about this a couple of shows ago, $280 million for average quarterbacking, and look at your record. What are they, 3-7?
Yeah.
3-7. Giants are 2-8.
Well, like I said, it goes beyond just the players as well. I mean, they got some problems. They got some injuries. They got some coaches in the best. The owner is a mess. I mean, it just keeps going. You name it. They're imploding right now. And if you ask me, I don't even see it looks like everybody in that team quit to me.
Oh, for
watching
sure.
that game last night.
Oh, it's
with the Cowboys. What was the final? 34-10?
34-10. I don't think any team wanted to win that game. I mean, Dallas screws up with a fake punt. Now, we talked about this offline. Difference between, we screwed up a fake punt too, but the difference between our fake punt and theirs is our guy dropped the ball. He catches the ball. He's run 30 yards. It's first down all day. In fact, he catches the ball beyond the first down line. If he catches it, boo, he missed it. This guy, I mean, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I mean, come on,
like
man.
I said, it's just bad offensive playing all around for the Cowboys. There's a lot of issues going on there, and I feel bad for them. Well, I really don't, but the thing about it is that gonna happen to a better team.
Cowboy Kenny, where's he been?
Cowboy Kenny, if you're out there, make sure you call in Steeler Nation Live. I want to get your feedback on how your Cowboys are doing out there to you. You know what? I know you still rock the old blue and whatever y'all are, gray or whatever the hell y'all are. But you know what? Good luck to you. There's always next year.
We're here for you. We're here for you, Cowboy Kenny. Come on. We can't bash you any more than anybody else has been bashing you. So, I mean, we don't even want to bash you guys. We feel sorry for you. We pity you.
Yeah.
We pity you.
But let me ask you guys this now. Is it too early to be talking Super Bowl for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
That's a great question.
Now, a lot of people out there are saying, you know what? The Pittsburgh Steelers, they have the tools. They have the tools to do it. But is it too early, James, to be talking Super Bowl?
That's a great
Not
question.
just Super Bowl. Let me ask you one more question on top of that. Is this an elite defense? Back to you, James. I want to know which one it is.
Well, you know what? That's a great question. And why I say it's a great question, I was going to propose that question later on the show, but you beat me to it. But that's a great question, especially when coming out of the gate that pretty much everybody said how horrible the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be. You talk about the so-called experts, even Stephen A. Smith, who is one of the Pittsburgh Steelers' biggest fans.
Loves him, loves him.
He's the best. Even he said he doesn't see the Pittsburgh Steelers climbing out of the basement. I mean, a lot of very important people said the same thing, but they forgot one thing: Mike Tomlin. And Mike Tomlin is probably going to be up for Coach of the Year. And we have a little issue with George Pickens. Okay, I admit it. I mean,
I want to talk about him too. So
yeah, we'll talk about him. But he's got some issues, but we're not really seeing them because we're winning. So I think if we lose a game or two, you're going to see the real George Pickens come out. But we'll talk about that in a minute. But getting back to the Super Bowl, you know what? It's right now, it's not that crazy of a thought. Okay, let's put it that way. I feel we're good. We're doing good. We're getting better, right? But yes, it's in the conversation. Okay. We'll put it that way.
Okay.
It's in the conversation. Not that bad of a thought now. At the beginning, you kind of like listen to those naysayers, like, maybe they're right. Maybe they know more than we do at this point. But obviously, they were wrong. And they were wrong. But now, yes, you can have that conversation with, the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens now, and all the other elite teams in the AFC, which there's not really that many of them. I mean, NFC, you have a lot of teams.
Right.
A lot of good teams. AFC, not so much. That helps us out a bit. Okay. So, getting back to, it's not that crazy to talk to the Super Bowl, but getting back to your point about elite defense, no, absolutely not. We're not an elite defense. And I'll tell you why. That the Pittsburgh Steelers play tough defense every game. If we don't create turnovers, we don't win very many games. So you could have a great defense and still lose games. But to be an elite defense, you got to create turnovers, and your offense has to lose a game for you.
Yeah.
But as far as elite, not at this point. I think they're great. They're continually playing tough, and it shows with an 8-2 record, top of the division. But as far as elite, I think we have a lot of work in the secondary. I mean, if we ever got Mike Hilton back, that was one of the biggest mistakes the Pittsburgh Steelers did, was let him go, especially to the Cincinnati Bengals, and who is probably, I think.
Yeah, he played the other night too.
I think he is probably the best corner in football right now, Mike Hilton.
He's good, but I wouldn't say the best.
He's a great slot corner. He's an outside corner, and he can play nickelback. He's good.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing about it. I think the Steelers are right, like you said. They're right at that cusp of being an elite defense. And why I said an elite defense is because every game, I'm honest. Out of 2 games that they lost this year, the Cowboy game, which was possibility,
horrible,
could have been that was a 4th down play. And for the life of me, I think that was bad coaching on that part, on the defensive side of the ball, because we let Dak take all his time to survey the field as he backed up at 2 yards away. And what do you think is going to happen? Of course, you're going to find somebody, and you find a guy late going across the middle for a touchdown. And I believe if we'd have blitzed them, never gave him a chance to blitz the field, we'd have won that Dallas game.
Sure.
The game against the Indianapolis Colts, which we lost, you said a little bit about it earlier. That game, the Pittsburgh Steelers could have possibly have won that one. A bad snap at the end of the game, but like I said, I don't know, because we had some injuries during that part that we were scared to blitz as much, so we didn't blitz as much, and then we let this idiot back there destroy us. I forgot who was there. Flacco was their quarterback at that moment. We let him destroy us until late in the 3rd, early 4th, when Steelers started making a comeback, and they shut down everything that Flacco had because they went straight to blitzing.
Yeah.
And Flacco is horrible against the Pittsburgh Steelers when they blitz, and he's proven it again. And so those 2 wins right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers could have been right now at like 10-0.
Yeah.
10-0.
Well,
I mean, realistically, they could have.
Well, look at what Flacco did when the Colts played the Bills. I mean, he came in there. First pass was a pick 6. I think he had 2 pick 6s that game and a couple interceptions, and they kept him in the game. I mean, he was horrible. Why can't it have been like that? Because the Bills defense blitzed.
Yeah,
They put pressure on him. And even a seasoned veteran like Flacco, you get pressure on him. He's going to make mistakes. He's just going to throw the ball downfield.
Yes, exactly. And sometimes, you know what? In the NFL, coaches always outthink themselves. It's basic plays, and you see there. Hey, I see Cincinnati Joe. Joe, what's going on? Good. Did the Bengals win this weekend? I think they did.
No, they lost again. Yeah, they scored 30. What? 30. What was the score of the Bengals game? 34-27. They scored 27 points against the Chargers, and they ended up losing. I mean, give us a call, Joe. 585-210-3917. Give us a call.
I forgot about that. You're right.
Yeah, it was a great game. I mean, like we were talking earlier. I mean, he threw 9 touchdowns against the Ravens, and they still lost both games.
Yep.
I mean, it's how you play the game. All teams are different, yeah, but if you know who you're playing, how to control the game, do you really need to score touchdowns? You would like to, but look at us. I mean, Chris Boswell leads the NFL in 6 field goal games. Okay, I think he has 3 of those. The only kicker in NFL history to kick 6 field goals, 3 separate games, and win them all. So, I mean, did he make his money that day? Yeah, of course he made his money, but you don't want to rely on your field goal kicker to win your ball games. Maybe late in the game, the last second field goal, heroics, yeah. But you don't want that to be your whole offense. I mean, it's just different teams play different styles and different ways. We could have went about this a lot different. We should have opened it up a little bit more. But I think we were a little nervous by, trying to do new things with a team that, if you do this, do that, you're going to be able to control the ball, control the game a little bit. And I guess that's what we did, but we can't do that going forward. We have to open up that offense. And 5.4 yards a pass average for a quarterback is not good. I think that was worse than Pickett.
Yeah. Oh, Pickett. Yeah. Joe says another heartbreak loss. It was 34-27. Yeah, and that ended up being a pretty good game actually versus the Chargers. So, and the Chargers, you know what? I don't know what to make of that team anyway. I mean,
we stopped them. I think we beat them 20-10. But that's again, what type of defense does the Bengals have? Like I said, Mike Hilton. I mean, is that the whole defense right there? You can't play every position. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, I agree. I agree 100%.
I think if you don't have a good defense, especially in that division, you're not going to do well. And the Cincinnati Bengals have been proving week in, week out that they put all these points up on the board, but what do they have to show for it? No defense.
Yeah.
And they're keeping teams in the game like the Chargers. I mean, they were in the game with us, but our defense shut them down. And you need a team that has a great shutdown defense. The Bengals are there, but they're kind of not there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're a hard team to figure. I was trying to grab a call that was coming in, but let me see if I don't get you. I'm trying to get this to come back up. I don't know why it's shut down. So yeah, but like I said, the Bengals could be a good team as well. Pittsburgh Steelers still have to play the Bengals, so that's something huge that's going to be coming out there. And there are a lot of things coming in. Pittsburgh only played one team in their division. So that's the hard thing to suck down is that one team, and it was that battle right there. And the Pittsburgh Steelers played this Thursday night versus the Cleveland Browns. And I'm telling you, James, it's going to be a rough game.
It's going to be an ugly game.
Yeah,
Sanders, and I'll tell you why. Like we just.
Let's see. Let's answer this call while we got that chance.
Sure.
Let's see. All right. Oh, here. Let's try it again.
We got to fire our phone board guy.
Hey, is he on? Oh, yeah, there we go. Oh, welcome to Steeler Nation Live. Who do we got on the line?
Another heartbreaking Bengal loss, guys.
Cincinnati Joe.
Oh, man.
Unbelievable. I just, I was watching Sports Center today, and they were showing it. And they were like, this is the best 4-7, team. And I knew going into this year, we have a top 3 offense in the league. There's no doubt, but our defense, we played an entirely different game in the second half. We shut them down. They went 4 consecutive 3-and-outs. We scored 21 unanswered points on 3 consecutive drives. Just couldn't come up with the big one at the end with the missed field goal, and couldn't stop them on the on their last drive. But it is what it is. You guys are built around defense for the most part. Defense wins big games. We all know that. And until this team starts drafting the right players on defense, and it's going to be we're going to have to score 40, 45 points a game. If that, might not be enough to win ball games.
I mean,
you can't win them like that.
The last defensive guys you really had were Pac-Man Jones and Perfect, and
we had our Super Bowl year. We had we had a top 10 defense, and they played well against the Rams. And we have players. They've drafted the right guys. I mean, they got the quarterback, the corner from Michigan. He's not even starting now. He was the number 2 defensive back coming out of the draft last year. We got him from Michigan, and he hasn't even broken through the starting unit. So it's like we got the leading sacker in the league. We got the leading guy that's got the most sacks in the league. But
right.
It's just we've always been weak at linebacker. Cincinnati can't cover tight ends, and they can't cover slot receivers. We're so terrible at the linebacker position. It's sad to see this team. You see Chase's face at the end of the game. I've never seen a guy like this. I'm glad to have him on our team, but this guy is just absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe that they're going to waste this year. Burrow's going to probably have the most touchdown passes. Chase is going to have the most receptions, and they're not even going to make the playoffs. So,
yeah, and your kicker
it is what it is.
Your kicker, what, McPherson?
Our kicker's been reliable the last 3 years. And the other night, boom, right over the goalpost.
Not so much. Not so much.
You guys are complaining about kicking 6 field goals in one game and winning a game. I'm hoping for 1 field goal to win a game.
Wait. Nobody's complaining about a win. What do we like to see? Sparks fly and long touchdown passes, and of course. But if this is what it takes to get the job done, it's a win is a win. If we win by 1 point or 100 points, it doesn't matter. It's still a win.
No. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it was.
Well, the thing about it is now, Joe, remember, we still got to play the Bengals at least twice, and I ain't gonna lie.
Twice in the next 4. Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie, because I do know y'all. Like I recognize what you're saying, because you guys, you're 4. What is it? 4-7. 4-7.
Yeah,
4-7. But you guys, you're still a tough team. You're not gonna be no easy out.
Oh, they are.
Oh, no.
Sure.
Absolutely not.
So that's gonna be the one. Hey, you know what, Joe? Hey, on the week before that game, or that when we do the show on Tuesday, dude, you gotta come on the show, man, because wearing your Bengals jersey out. So I want to see you.
I'll be there. You let me know when and where, buddy. I'll have my Bengals jersey on. I'll sit right in between the two of you.
You know it, brother. Yeah,
you got it.
We'll hook them up.
We'll hook them up.
Hey, my brother, like I said, man, you the man. Hey, thanks again. Oh, before you go, Joe, because I know you're going to give some whack score, but give me the score: Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cleveland Browns Thursday.
Well, I told you what. I predicted, I think I was like 17-14 or 17-10 Pittsburgh this past week. So I was pretty close. I knew it was going to be a low-scoring game. That's for sure. But I'm going to tell you something right now, and I'm not meaning this. I'm not meaning this just to, how this rivalry goes.
Right.
You know
I know
how this Cleveland rivalry goes. It's a short week. And Pittsburgh should win. There's no doubt. Pittsburgh should win. But you know how this rivalry goes. It's going to be a 1-possession game come fourth quarter. It's in Cleveland, right? Isn't it in Cleveland?
Yep,
Cleveland.
Yeah. See, the last thing you guys, and well, not just you guys, any team like Buffalo and Kansas City, when you guys go into these teams that are now out of the playoffs, 2-7, 3-8, whatever the case may be, these guys got nothing to lose. They can go on 4th down and 20. They can do reverses, and that's what makes those teams dangerous. When you guys are fighting for a playoff seed, top seed, so you got to play conservative and play just to win. But I'll tell you, it's going to be a 1 one-score game come fourth quarter. I think I say something like 20. It's going to be 20-13, 2014 final. I think Pittsburgh.
24.
But Cleveland's going to hang tough. It's a rivalry. You throw all the records out the window, and it's going to be a one-possession game, fourth quarter, and Pittsburgh. I say Pittsburgh 17, 14, 10, something like that. 2017, another low-scoring game. But yeah, you guys got to come out on top on this one.
You heard it from
you guys got to come out
from
top.
the guy.
Yep.
Cincinnati Joe.
I give it to you, but it's going to be close. It's
All
going to
right.
be close. And I'll let you go on this. If you guys remember,
Oh boy.
and you can go back if you have copies of all your podcasts.
Oh, we
Last
do.
year, I think it was your last. You're right before the draft. I said it. I said the steal of the draft is going to be Bo Nix.
Yeah, you
I
did.
came on your show,
Yep.
and I said everybody's going to
did.
pass on this Bo Nix kid.
I remember him saying
and this kid's going to be the steal of the draft at the quarterback position. Yeah, Williams is doing good. You know, Cleveland's a mess, or Chicago was a mess. They can't figure it out. They never will. But Bo Nix, he's that pot 6'6", 6'7", pot 6-year starter. He's got all the tools, man. And this Denver team is scary.
Yeah,
This Denver
I
team is
agree.
scary.
I just told. Actually, I think we got a Buffalo Bill guy that was on too earlier, just a minute ago. Good guy, Chad Satira. He said Thursday's game is going to be a trap game, which I agree. But he did.
It is.
But-
I'm telling you, it's going to be a trap game.
Yeah.
You bet.
But I'm telling him a lot of the Buffalo Bill games, because like right now, if the playoffs started, the Bills would right now have to play the
Kansas
Denver
City.
Broncos.
Oh, Denver Broncos.
Denver Broncos. Right now, if the playoffs
Yep.
started, and they
I'm telling you,
and they think
no
it's a
one wants
soft
to play
game,
Denver.
right?
Yep.
They think it's a soft game. I'm like, dude, Denver's not going to be an easy out, man.
Yeah.
Now that Cortland's
Denver's getting it. Denver's figuring it out.
and Cortland's
But yeah, you guys let me know if you want me
quarterback.
on. I'll be there. I'll sport in Jersey. I'll be there. I'll be there for you.
All right.
All right.
You got it.
All right, my brother.
You
I'll
let me
see-
know, guys.
Cincinnati
I'll see
Joe.
you, Joey. Yeah.
All right.
Like we said, hey, you know what? It takes all kinds. You know, Joe, good guy. You know, he got his problems because he likes the, Cincinnati Bengals. Okay,
Oh.
yep. I think that was the one that was just ending. I think. Yeah, but like I'm saying, the Buffalo Bills right now, if the playoffs were today, they will be playing the Denver Broncos, which would be a huge game because the Denver Broncos, they're not going to be a lay down team. And I believe they do have a quarterback that should be up and coming. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers would, on the other hand, if the playoffs started today, we would be playing the Baltimore Ravens again.
Again.
So, and you know how that goes. Trying to beat a team 3 times.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, we did it once before, and it was the Ravens too. So,
Right.
But that's how the cookie crumbles, the ball bounces, whatever you want to call it. But it's going to be a very ugly game, and not only is it a divisional rival, we have a lot of history with the Cleveland Browns. In fact, the Pittsburgh Steelers going into Cleveland on a Thursday night, the last 3 games that we played the Cleveland Browns on a Thursday night in Cleveland, we lost them all. And if you can remember back to, was it 2019 when the Myles Garrett played whack-a-mole with Rudolph's head with the helmet, and we lost that game 21-7. So, I mean, if you're looking, like, you know, said it was a trap game. If you're looking at all the history and the stats and whatever, and Myles Garrett's coming on here talking crap about TJ Watt already, and just come on, just let it go, grow up, whatever. He was pissed because that TJ Watt wasn't there for the award ceremony for Defensive Player of the Year because he knew that he wasn't going to. The word came out he wasn't going to get it, so he didn't show up. Whatever, get a life. But different teams from, you know, Browns have stayed consistent, and but what's scary about the Browns, like the Cincinnati Bengals, that high potent offense. In fact, against the Saints, they just played the Saints. They 443 yards of offense.
Wow.
But then again, they gave up almost 500 yards on defense.
Right.
So, I mean, they only scored 2 touchdowns, but when you got a team putting up that much yardage, what is that telling you? It sounds to me like they had a lot of turnovers. So the weather in Cleveland is going to be shit. It's going to be at least 85% rain. It's going to be below 40. So there's a chance of sleet, snow, rain, whatever you want to do. And that's going to play definitely into effect the game. And what's scary for me is we really haven't seen Russell Wilson throw in wet weather. I mean, how's it going to be? I mean, I'm trying to reflect back in his days in Denver, because up there it's really not sunshine and rainbows every day. They get the snow and the rain up there. How did he perform? I'm gonna have to look into that. But it's kind of scary, thinking about throwing in the rain and the way, like you said, Jalen Warren has a propensity of turning the ball over. It is smash 'em, bash 'em style of running. That there's a good chance that there might be some fumbles. And the way the Pittsburgh Steelers play defense, how they punch the balls out, and TJ Watt, he's a professional at that. And, Peyton Wilson and all the other guys and the linebacker, the defensive line, secondary, they're doing it. And we all know Pickens could catch in the rain, but can he get the ball?
Exactly. And that's a huge problem. And you know what, before we give a score, and it's almost close to that time, I want to read off some of the stuff that people are saying on there. I know my boy Brian Florek, he says great game by the defense. You frustrated Lamar all game, which was definitely true. He was definitely frustrated. And the fact that the Steelers just kept coming at him in waves. And like I said, Tomlin always said next man up. And that's exactly what happened. And also Chad Cetera, he said you guys will win Thursday. He says, you're the guys that played Denver, or you played Denver.
No, we already played Denver. We beat them. So
yeah, but the Bills will play them if the playoffs started today. I wanted to put that graphic up there, but yeah, but they will beat them. I mean, they will play Denver if the playoffs started today. But also, I also wanted to talk about as well is, like we just said, Pittsburgh Steelers Pickens. Pickens, damn Pickens. I don't know what's wrong with that guy.
Slim Pickens.
You got that right. This guy, phenomenal receiver, one of the better receivers out there. Why can this man not use his 2 feet to put him down inside the marker for being inbounds? Like it baffles me that he has a ton of room to get his feet down. And for some reason, he does some ridiculous thing by sticking his other foot out. James said before, when we were talking offline, he says maybe he thinks he's still in college. I don't know what it is, James, but it's getting to a point where it's going to be ridiculous, and he's going to do it at a point that's going to cost us. That's why other people, I haven't heard anybody talk about it a lot, but the guy's got a good game to himself besides, the other things that come along with him. But the fact is that put your feet down. That's 101 of being a receiver, man.
Yeah, he catches the ball at one hand, two hand, no hand, and he's got to get the feet down. It's the one where he stuck his leg out of bounds. For the life of me, all I had to do was just put his feet down, but he stretched like a ballet dancer out of bounds, no catch. I mean, somebody, if you gotta let me know why would somebody do that? I mean, what's going through your mind where you want to get your foot out of bounds? I mean, like I said, like I was talking to Sanders earlier, did he think that he was in college and he wanted to stop the clock because his right foot was down, or his left foot was down inbounds, and he stretched his left foot out? I mean, it was like he was doing a split. It wasn't like he just, oops, I put my foot down too far. No, he intentionally stuck his foot out like this.
It's like the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, man. It's like, what are you doing? And
he's one.
That's one of the plays against the Giants. Didn't get 2 feet down.
He got the right foot down twice.
Yeah, twice. Yeah, I mean, that's why I said, do we need to bring back Antonio Brown, give him some medication, and let him teach this man how to you put both your feet down? This guy was the master. They used to call him two-toe Tony or two-tap Tony because he was phenomenal on the sideline. And this guy, as you can see in that picture just a minute ago, he has the room to get his feet down. And for some reason, like you said, he does something ridiculous. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Somebody's got to explain. I mean, he's one fry shy of a Happy Meal. Got it. But as long as the Steelers keep on winning, we're not going to see cray. And I'm telling you, something's going to Something's going to happen with Cray Cray. And speaking of that, question, Sanders, we get Mike Williams. I mean, the number 2 receiver, not even targeted last game against the Ravens.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
and you're throwing to guys that just came off the practice squad.
Well, the problem is Mike Williams is a deep ball threat, and that's what the Steelers mainly got him for, just to stretch the field or whatever.
Right.
And the Ravens were doing a phenomenal job on shutting down the deep passes, and that's why the middle was so open, and that's why they were eating them up. Teams usually do that to the Pittsburgh Steelers, but all of a sudden, it seems like Wilson kind of recognizes that and says, okay, I'm going to eat up the middle. And he did that.
Can you imagine that one pass to Mike Williams if he didn't catch that touchdown?
Oh, my God.
I mean, can you imagine the onslaught of what a horrible trade? You need to get rid of him.
Yes.
Speaking of horrible trades, Devontae Adams wants out of New York already. I mean, that was
Go figure. That
was a quick relationship. I mean,
yeah.
I just don't get it.
I don't even know why that man even followed Aaron Rodgers over to the Jets, because Aaron Rodgers was one of the reasons he didn't get paid when he's in Green Bay. I wouldn't want nothing to do with that dude.
But listen, he had to get out of Las Vegas. He had to get out. Number one, he was getting killed. I mean, the routes that he was running, the horrible throws by the quarterback. I mean, if he didn't get, I think he would have went to the CFL up in Canada, just to get out of Las Vegas. And you know what? Can you blame him? You get sweet talked. You go back to Aaron Rodgers, your buddies in Green Bay, and you guys work so great together. Come on down to New York City, and not so much.
Right.
Not so much.
Well, hey, one thing I wanted to say, Chaz Terry was right about that. He said, let's be honest, the weather is the ultimate neutralizer for Cleveland on Thursday, which he's right. And he said, Boswell is your best weapon, and the forecast is rainy, sleet. So, he's right. I mean, and that does play kind of to our hand. And Pittsburgh's a bad weather team. They're notorious for pulling out games in bad weather. I don't get it. I don't understand it.
Creating turnovers on defense. That's it.
And that's what they do. And he also said, JETS suck.
Wow. Oh, boy. Yeah, you don't have to even say that, because just look at the record. I mean, it's just horrible down there. And I thought that the Jets had a rough going. Looking at the Cowboys, comparing them, it's just, you can't even compare now with the Cowboys getting blown out again at home.
Yeah.
They're 0-5 at home, and the average of scoring almost 30 points a game against them at home. And even if Dak was MVP caliber, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're still, I think they, like you said, Sandra, they just gave up.
Yeah.
They really gave up on the team. Well, I mean, how could you not? Your owner sits up there, he watches the debacle. The head coach should have been fired 3 games ago. I mean, we talked about that. All firing coach isn't going to change anything. But when you compare McCarthy with Tomlin, it's not even in the same league, because McCarthy, you could get anybody. You get the special teams coach in there to run that team. But he's just running that team into the ground. He doesn't know how to do time management, clock management. He doesn't know how to call the correct plays, the players in and out. He's getting guys hurt and killed. Maybe they're not even hurt. Maybe they're just faking it to get out of there because they don't want to play anymore. And I love when they did the show of Dak Prescott out in the booth when they did that fake punt and failed. He's like, I give up.
Had his hands on his head.
And it didn't help the week before when they got him on the sideline saying, we effing suck. That's your leader. That's your captain. That's the guy who's going to lead you to victory.
Hey,
that's horrible.
Yeah. Hey guys, like we said too, we're going to give our final score for the game for next week. And also, guys, make sure you check out some of our other shows out there as well. Check out stuff. Go to our website, www.steelernationlive.net. Also, check out some of the stuff we got on Facebook, YouTube. Our big, interview right here with Rocky Bleier, the legend here, Pittsburgh Steelers legend, Rocky Bleier, doing his thing here in Steeler Nation Live. You gotta love it. We've had some other guys out there, but you know what? We love Rocky. Rocky was a nice guy. Rocky was one of the coolest guys out there. We've interviewed some big names from the Steelers and in the NFL, and you know what? Love it. Appreciate him for coming out there, and he'll always be a part of Steeler Nation. But James, Pittsburgh Steelers, Cleveland Browns. You know, everybody's gave up some stuff. You know what? Hey, Marvin, what's up, brother? Hey, you know what? Give us a score. Pittsburgh going into Cleveland.
It's going to be ugly.
Thursday night.
It'll be ugly.
You got that right.
A lot of people who are not Steeler fans are not probably going to watch this game because it's going to be boring. It's going to be sloppy. There will be a lot of turnovers, unfortunately. Hopefully more on the Brown side than the Steelers. The ball's going to be all over the place. And with that being said, division rivals, whatnot, it's going to be low scoring. It's going to be close. I'm going to say 17-13 Steelers. And it's going to be 13-10 late in the game. And we're just going to pull out a touchdown, probably a Jalen Warren run off tackle, and he's going to break it through. And we're going to score too fast, okay? And it's going to give time for the Browns to come back and possibly score a touchdown. And they're going to drive the ball deep in our territory, and we're going to stop them, and the clock runs out. That's my prediction of the game.
What was the score?
17-13 Steelers.
17-13 Steelers.
Yeah.
All right. I'm kind of with you. I'm kind of somewhat in that direction. I'm going to say it's going to be another low scoring game for us. And yeah, you're right. It's in between that 17 to 20 range. I'm going to go a little higher because, you know what? Boswell might get a couple more field goals in, just like what Chad Satera said. You know, I can see missed opportunities near the goal line, this, that, you know what, more field goals. And I can see him getting some more kicks. So we might make 20, maybe. But, and you're right, it's going to be a sloppy game. I believe our defense is very opportunistic, and they will get turnovers. So I will say like a 20-10 type score for the Pittsburgh Steelers with Cleveland scoring like a late touchdown and trying to do an onside kick on us, which I hope to God that we recover in bad weather. I mean, everything plays out. And you know what? That might be what the Steelers need. That'll take us to 9-2 and, you know, trying to work our way into the playoffs. Because, you know, Pittsburgh Steelers, at how many games? I wonder if we set the record for the most one possession game wins in a season. And it's pretty much been like that. We had a couple games, 2 games or whatever, against the Jets and stuff like that.
The last 9 games against the Ravens, the last 9 games were 8-1. Doesn't matter home or away. Each game, the past 9 games have been decided by 7 points or less. Each game.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time either team blew each other out.
Yeah.
I could probably say maybe 1 or twice that we got blown up out of Ravens, and same thing with the Ravens. But I think Nick Chubb is a prolific running back, big guy, hard to take down, especially in this kind of weather. So him and Jerome Ford could be the backfield, both big, prolific running backs. We just have to, you know, make sure they cough the ball up. But the one thing that we need to do is actually there's a couple things we need to do. We have to stop Njoku, the tight end for the Browns. This guy is massive. He's a beast. He's almost as big as Darnell Washington, our guy. And they use him a lot, prolifically. They use him a lot. And we need to shut him down, create turnovers. It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. That's the one, probably pretty much the way we're going to beat the Browns. Now, if the rain holds off and it's just cold, I think we'll get a different score. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers have 3 field goals and 2 touchdowns. That's if the weather holds off, but it's supposed to be raining in Cleveland all week, and it's that time of the year. Yeah. You know, Christmas is coming up. Thanksgiving is next week. And we're going to be doing our Thanksgiving show next week. Yeah. So be prepared for that.
Yeah. And guys, like I said, did that blow your eardrums out? Hey guys, like we said, another show in the books here on Steeler Nation Live with your boy Sanders Tisdale,
James Owen.
And guys, we'll be back Tuesday, hopefully with a win for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers got a lot of good games coming up down the pipe. Make sure you check us out when we play Christmas versus the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's going to be on Netflix. I'm not too happy about that, as you can see from the Tyson fight. But guys, till we see you guys again Tuesday, Steeler Nation Live.